In this lesson, I'd like to show you how to take a flat, unnormalized table that has repeating values in two different columns, break this out into several tables, and then hook these back up, hook these related tables back up and reproduce the flat file. The first thing I want to do is come back here and click on Query Design, and I'm going to go ahead and pull in my products flat table, and then I'll just close this guy. I'm going to start with my category name. I'm going to go ahead and double click on this and run this, and you can see that I get repeating values over and over again. To take this out, I'm going to go ahead and click on my totals, which will group these together, and now when I run this I see my individual names here. Back in design view, I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a make table query. So I'll click on make table, I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to go ahead and call this cat, and I'm going to go ahead and click on OK, and when I run the make table, it's going to paste these new 8 rows into a new table. I'll say yes. Turn around, I'll get rid of this field, turn this back into a select query. I'm now going to come out, by the way, you can see my cat table over here. Click on the company name for the supplier, and I'm see that I already have my grouping turned on. So if I take a look at this, I'm just going to get my individual suppliers. There won't be any duplicates out here. Back in design view, I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a make table, and I'm just going to call this SUPP, and I'll click OK, and when I run this, it's going to paste the 29 rows into the new table. I'll say yes, and now I end up with a new table called SUP. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close down this query. I'll just say no and ask to save changes. I'll start with my cat table. I'm going to go ahead and open this up in design view, and just for grins, I'm going to go ahead and insert a new row here, and I'm going to call this cat ID, and I'm going to change its data type to an auto number. And then I'm going to come back out here and view this in datasheet view, save the changes, and you can see that now these are all individually numbered out here. And what I'll do from here is I'll come back in my design view, and I'm going to change this from an auto number back into a number field. And when I do this, I get the same thing, but I won't have any conflicts when I hook this thing back up. I won't have any of these auto numbering conflicts in the table, because if I leave both of these suppliers and categories with their auto numbering fields, when I try to hook them back up in the query to run the magic, it's not going to like having two auto numbered fields in the same table. No problem, we'll just turn this back into a number field after we've built our numbers. I'll click on close and save the changes. Back under supplier, same thing, click on design view. I'm going to insert a new row, and up here at the top I will call this SUPPID, and I'm going to make this an auto numbering field, and when I run datasheet view, you can see it numbers everything very nicely here. Back in design view, I'm going to change this to a number data type, and when I run it, no problem, everything's still there as the same. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down. Next step, I will come back into my query design. I'm going to pull back in my products flat table. I'm also going to pull in my new category table and my suppliers table, and I'm going to go ahead and click on close there. I'm going to pull my category name up at the top, my supplier's name down at the bottom, and I'm going to grab the category name here and hook it up to the category name in the cat table. Not ID fields, just the name themselves. Same thing with the company name to the company name and suppliers. And now I'm going to bring in the product name. I'm going to bring in the category ID from cat, bring in the unit price, bring in the units in stock. Oops, got too many of those there. And then the company name. And then when I run this, I will see that I end up with the products flat table, but now instead of the actual repeating names, I just have repeating IDs out here. All right, looks like I messed up here. I don't want to bring in the company name at the end here. I want to bring in the supplier ID. There we go. And now when I run this thing, I see the ID for the supplier. All right, next thing, back in design view, what I want to do is turn this into an actual flat file. Rather, I want to turn this into a table from a query. So I'll say make table, and I'm going to go ahead and call this new products. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And when I run this, it tells me I'm about to paste 77 rows into the new table. I'll say yes, and now I have a new table called new products right here. All right, so we are basically done with this guy. Just to show you, we don't have to keep this around. I'm now going to come back, click on a new query in design view. I'm going to pull in my new products table. I'm going to pull in my cat table, and I'm going to pull in my sup table. And I'm going to take and bring in my hook up my category ID to category ID here, bring in my supplier ID to my supplier ID here, and I'll pull in my product name, category name from the cat table, units in stock, unit price, and then the company name from the sup table. And now when I run this thing, I get the original flat file, but now same exact thing I had before, 77 records, but now it's been broken out into 3 separate tables that I could go ahead and build relationships off of. I could go ahead and apply my primary keys inside of here, include my foreign keys on each side, and I have a completely workable normalized set of tables here. So you don't even have to type anything in. You can just have the access queries and the make table do all the work for you.